So I know that I expect you to tell me the truth about everything.
Yeah.
And not to hide things from me. But there's something that I haven't told you.
What?
My divorce is not final.
What?
You've been legally separated for a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you done after that? You know you have to file for divorce now.
Do you know, girl?
Do you know that?
We've just had so much going on. Like, I haven't really thought about.
We're not going to be able to do till you do that. What are you doing? The courthouse.
Yelling at me.
Because you have to go file for divorce. What do you think? Some goose is going to come down and grant you a divorce?
No, I thought that's what you thought.
Because you told me you had to file for divorce. I'm hurt. I feel like I've been betrayed. And I feel like I'm being lied to. I'm going to smoke. Damn.
Yay.
She's got her ex on the back burner. Kimberly says she can't trust me, but I don't know if I can trust her either.
What up, party people? I'm Erica. Welcome to my channel. And we are doing a review, Life After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 45. Without trust, you have nothing. And we're going to go straight into it with Kimberly and Joey because that bitch is crazy. All right, you guys, let's get into it.
I want a happy ending. I'm tired of pretending. Won't let them get the best of me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Give me a break. The game is survival. Give me a break and claim my arrival.
Me a break. Woo! The game is survival, and a sister is back. All right, you guys. So the first couple we're going to get into, we just saw a brief clip of Joey and Kimberly. Let me get them on our screen. Here they go. So here's the thing. I think Joey and Kimberly remind me very much of Melissa and Louie. Okay. When you had that crush on somebody from back in the day, and then you date a whole bunch of losers in between, and you like always have this fantasy in your head. And Joey has fallen right into it. And he's been all right. Now, on a side note, are they in South Carolina? Let me know in the comments. I am amazed at what Kimberly can do with $15 an hour. She got a car. She bought him a car. She's trying to buy a house. And we know Joey ain't working. He got rims. Like, show me the money because I don't all the way get it. But in the last episode, we see Kimberly. She's gone dress shopping with the cousin that Joey used to date. So that whole thing where I kind of can see where her cousin is coming from in terms of, wait, you slept with my man and now you're going to marry him. When did that become a thing? But that being said, you do want to keep those important relationships. So I get where Kimberly is at. But boo, you need to go ahead and get divorced. And Joey, you are absolutely right. Don't get no job, continuing living off of her paycheck until she gets that divorce before you have to put your money in the pot and get a house for her ex-husband to be a part of. And if that don't happen, then you need to do this right here, as I tell many a couple on this show.
Run.
Yes, run if you got to, Joey. So in the end, though, they actually make up and kind of get over it. And, you know, they're basically fine. But yeah, you know, I think Kimberly, you're doing a lot, my dear. And You could just do better, Kimberly. I mean, do better. You want all of this stuff from Joey. You tracking his phone. You you got the tracker on him. You bought him a car with the tracker in it. You got him a phone. You're paying for all the things. Now you're trying to get, you know, get him to marry you. But before that, you want him to actually, be on title to a house, and you still married to somebody else. Nah, uh, that's a big no-go. But Joey is very understanding. And so he's like, okay, everybody sort of lies, even though he kind of feels played. So he is very understanding and patient because he realizes, like, yeah, I come from prison. So how am I passing judgment? But Kimberly, yeah, you got to get your divorce. You got to get that right. So let's move on to our next couple. All right, let's talk Zeruiah and Troy. Now, what's so interesting with them, and I'll do a separate video on them because they actually have more going for them. I would say, let me get them up. Here we go. Zeruiah and Troy have more going on with Crazy Karen. Okay, let me not say that because y'all know I love me some Karen. So I got to come up with a nicer nickname than Cookie Karen because I love her. I loves me some Karen. I loves me some Karen. So basically in this episode, Zeruiah and Troy are going to see her parents' home. They've had a fire in the home. Now, in one of the lives, Karen actually says that Zeruiah's parents at some point had custody of her son. I'll go back through that, through those lives another time because it's a hot mess out there in those streets, but I'll get into it for my fans. For those of you who out there who are still watching my videos, which all I can say is thank you. But yeah, so they go to the house where there was a fire. Zeruiah is really upset. She's really upset about what's going on, and they take a look, and of course this is a really touching moment because at this point they're living in a hotel, and I should say her parents are living in a hotel. And, she realizes that if her brother was there, he could have been hurt. Her son was there that weekend. So it is really kind of very touching. And Troy is very happy that he's in town and can be there for his wife and her family. So her dad shows up. She takes Troy to the church where they're going to do a fundraiser to raise money so they can pay their rent. So they really having a rent party. As those of you who have ever watched Good Times know what rent parties are. And the father is like, okay, what would you do? How would you talk to the, basically he kind of puts him on the spot to preach, and Troy really speaks his heart. And so that part is really, really touching. So I really like that part. And I like the fact that the family is coming together to support them and their nonprofit, which will help the community and, hopefully get them to pay some bills. So now what's so funny, I think, and let me know what you guys think as well. I think what's so crazy with the Zeruiah and Troy is that Zeruiah is cray cray, but I feel like, Troy, here's a heads up, boo, you married your mama. I'm just going to put it out there because both them bitches are crazy, but yes. And so Zeruiah actually calls her mother and talks to her mom. Her mom comes to visit the next day. And her mom is really supportive. She kind of sneaks in there like, yeah, we expect you to pay for our wedding. And that's when we find out that Zeruiah is adopted, which, well, we know Black folks come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, but there was a bit of a disconnect. So, but I just thought it was good foundation, to tell you the truth, or maybe not so good foundation. But Zeruiah then finds out, she really talks to us a little bit about being adopted. So let's take a look at that right now. Here we go.
I want to have my biological father walk me down the aisle.
What? This is the first time we heard
That's
about your
fine. I was just on
biological.
the other side with your dad.
No, because I want my dad to marry me.
Okay.
At 3 years old, my mom told me that I was adopted.
Aw,
My biological mom gave
cute
me up
baby.
when she was around 16 years old. Over the past year, I've definitely been able to develop a good relationship with my biological father and keeping in contact with him.
I guess you
You
don't
know,
want to
it's
jump
just been very emotional because it's like I just got to meet him
Right.
and he just found out about me.
Right.
A year ago, I met my biological father and his family, and the way that they welcomed me with open arms, it made me look.
Okay, let me go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. Is it just me? I mean, I
And
hate
the
to
way
be
that
petty,
they
but look at these
welcome.
pictures with her brother. Um, all I can say is this all hanging out right now in this photo. Okay. I'm not gonna make any comments, but I had to go back even watching it like, wait, who is this? But it's your brother from another mother, apparently. But they are real close right there. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, here we go.
Me with open arms. It made me
They
look
open
at
already.
family and history completely different. I finally was able to understand who I was as a person.
So did you talk to your dad about it?
No, I wanted to talk to you about it
Okay.
to see how I should approach it because I don't want him to feel any type of way. But I
Right.
also want to make sure that they're both like represented well.
Aw, that was so cute. That was cute.
Oh,
Sorry, let's remove them. That was cute. Yeah, I really thought that the part where she talks about being adopted and the wedding and really having something special that included her biological dad, although I guess he's going to be blurred out if they show it on the show. So that I really thought was really sweet and kind of touching. And then she goes through this whole thing about the psychic, and she thinks the psychic caused the fire, and she starts to kind of spiral and get a little bit back to being the crazy Zeruiah that we all know and love. And Troy is like, the psychic said we're not going to be together, and Troy's like, I'm sitting here right now, and she's so that was the one thing that was kind of crazy about the fire is that, and I guess it can happen. I'm 50-50 on psychics, or I'm not gonna say that. I do have an interest in psychics and tarot and that sort of thing, but I don't necessarily think that those people are causing things to happen. I still think we all have choices and options, and sometimes things happen that are beyond our control, but I'm not sure if these other entities are controlling them either. Anywho, Zeruiah, although raised in the church, obviously very deep in the church, is sort of spirals because she feels like the chaos that the psychic forewarned about came about with this fire. So she's still on that. Let's move on to our next couple. But her parents are going to, even though they burned out, they got to get a new house. They're trying to help them with their nonprofit. They have still volunteered to help pay for their wedding. So that's pretty cool. You can't knock them for that. Those are pretty nice parents. Let's get back to them. Let's see. All right. Okay, let's talk about Bianca and Daniel. And again, another couple. The best way I can put it would be this. Yeah. I don't give a F, but because here's the thing. Bianca has been in a victim of a DUI where she had severe injuries, and she's still getting drunk and toasted with his cousin. She still is going to tell his cousin that his foreplay is horrible. He's bad in bed. She even told the cousin she has a problem with drinking, but she was drinking so much she don't even remember what she said, but the producers remember, okay? And so they're kind of going back over this argument they had about him making her coffee. And, he says the way she's acting is giving him red flags. And she's like, wait, what? Are you saying I'm a red flag? Yes. Yes, Bianca, you are a full red flag. You're a whole flag on the plate. You is a whole flag, girl. She talks to him crazy, I guess because she's younger, and I don't even know, but I'm like, Daniel, again, you're I mean, all I can say, Daniel, you're another one who needs to do this.
Run.
Daniel, get out of there. So he has already bought her some little budget ring. They go outside for a walk. And that's the thing. She always is talking to him crazy. Like, all this I did for you. I moved out here for you. You need to give me all the things that I want, or, why am I here? If you have a drinking problem, that sounds like it's your problem. That's what you call red flags, Daniel. Those are red flags. Okay. Then when she's holding your hand, she don't like the way you holding her hand. She gonna tell you all this stuff. And so they have a big argument. And I kind of feel bad for her because she doesn't understand. And he always backs down with her. She kind of basically punks him most of the time, in my opinion. And he is quick to back down from her. And in the end, he kind of walks off and storms off, and she starts crying. She doesn't know what she's doing wrong. You're drinking with someone who's an addict and you talk to them crazy. Okay. But hopefully you'll get better and not pregnant. That's the most I can say about them. Let's move on to Melissa and Joey. Wait, do I have oh, sorry, not Joey. Melissa and Louie. Here we go. Louie tries so hard. It's so crazy in this season. I feel like the people that are out of prison are crazier than the people that were in prison. Which is what makes this show so much fun. So Joey, outside of doing the whole pizza thing, is also training, and he's posting these pictures on Instagram and Facebook. But Melissa is queen of jealous, and so she thinks she didn't like him doing pizza, but she really don't like him training the women. And then she has her little trifling friends right there to be like, girl, did you see the photos on Instagram? Did you see the way he was behind her holding her arms when she was doing those exercises? So she has her girlfriend there to kind of gaslight her, where it's like, okay, if he was going to cheat, would he be plastering it all over Instagram? But whatever. So she's jealous, but Joey, he has this plan to propose to her. Now I'm like, dude, you just made $18,000. So now you back at zero, but she got a ring now. So, he takes her up to this tower and he proposes to her. Of course, she accepts the proposal because she'd been stalking him for 20 years. Very much like Kimberly. And, so now she don't really care anymore about him training women, at least for this afternoon. Go Joey. She likes The Rock. She's not complaining. So that's a plus. Go Louie. I don't know. I think this couple too is going to go into this list of I don't give a F. But luckily, they're not on the show very much. Or not so much this season, but we'll see how tonight goes. So let's move on to our next couple. All right, Britney and Key Rock. I like them as a couple. I do feel like this season, let me get their pictures up. This season, I feel like they're very their whole storyline is kind of contrived. So they're trying to move to Texas or Dallas or whatever. They've packed up everything. They packed up his mom, everything. And then the probation, because we all know if you're on probation, you can't just move across the country like that because you on probation. Like, okay. So, and 2 prisoners, I would think they would know that. So they're trying to move, and finally, Key Rock gets approval. Britney does not have it. And so they come up with this great idea. Like, okay, well, if we get married, then they have to let us, even though we're associating with felons and usually your probation says you cannot, if we get married, Texas will accept us. She calls her probationer officer and asks him, and he's like, no, I don't think it's a good idea. If they denied you and now you suddenly pop up married, it's going to look like a scam. She gets all salty and stank. How can they say it's a scam? I love him. Girl, you getting married to move. That's how they can think it's a scam. And like, they're not stupid. You know, do you even watch 90 Day Fiance? Like, everybody knows that if you suddenly pop up married, even if you do love the person, it just creates the appearance of a scam, which still could get you denied, ho. Like, what is it you don't know? But at first she's like, I don't care. I'm going to get married anyway. She buys the dress, or this is the low budget dress because this ain't the real wedding because it's a scam. Okay. So anywho, so she doesn't want to tell Key Rock. But, you know, so they're all getting ready. They're going to get married, like, I don't know, on a lakefront or something. And then, so pretty much they're all there at the wedding. And finally, she's like, look, Key Rock, there's something I have to tell you. Like, basically, we could be doing this for nothing and I'll still get denied. So, yeah. Hopefully I'll watch the episode in a few minutes once I'm done with this video, and I will do another video tomorrow for episode 46. But yeah, you know, right before they're about to say their vows, she's like, we need to talk. So obviously I'm assuming, I don't know, I haven't Googled, maybe they're in Texas already, but like, this whole storyline seems highly produced and scripted. I hate to say it, but it's coming off very, I don't know, fake. But I do hope they get married, and I like them as a couple. So who knew, right? But let's see. All right, you guys. So that is it. That was a quick pow. I am back in business. Thank you so much. And if you're here this long, then this is what you knew. Comment, like, subscribe, all the things, because all of that helps keep me going. And with the way the election went, I need me some YouTube. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. And I will be back shortly with the next video. Ciao for now, folks. See you soon. Bye.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck